going to affect the structural integrity, not just the buildings there,
That's right.
but the land itself, because there are other areas where there have been bomb blasts and all of that, and then moving into the future, earthquakes and all of that. With an explosion of this nature, how does this even affect the land area of Apeatse? So that even if we're going to reconstruct the place, I mean, what are some of the things we should look at from an engineering perspective?
Well, thank you. When the environmental people are done with the extent of chemicals within the area, I mean, the acceptable limits, I'm sure the doctors will come in and I mean, the government has to do a wholesale check on individuals who were within the vicinities and even the outskirts of the town, so they will know the extent of inhalation of this poisonous chemical that can lead to some cancerous cells, whatever it is in the medical field. But we have the basic idea about this. But one of the rules that we're going to do for the construction, like the environmental people come and do the extent and then everything, the planners will come. But before the planners will come, I am proposing, I've not heard it from any of them so far, there will be a seismic test. And a seismic test is like you're trying to do something about earthquake. Vibrations of such magnitude are just similar to earthquakes, how earthquakes happen. So there'll be a seismic test zeroed in at the location, I mean the whole community. That will be able to tell us the extent of fracture of the land and where structures which are supposed to be closer to areas where there was the severest of structure fractures will be what do you call it? Like there'll be an advice from the engineering point for the sort of foundation, the type of foundation to be used in the construction of such buildings. So apart from all that they have said, I would propose that there will be a seismic engineer to run a seismic test, so that will give us definite information about how the land was fractured. And that will be an added advantage or information to the structural engineers who will be designing the foundations of such structure. No matter how high we are going, even if it's 1 floor or 2 floors, this information will be very, very good for planning the town, the areas where there will be maybe reservoirs, there will be high-rise buildings, a lot, so that even in the fractures, you'll be able to know the extent of seepage of water in areas closer, if there's any water closer to the place. Now, once the soils are so fractured, it means that there's a lot of passages seeping through, or the liquids uphill or anywhere will be able to seep through the dam. So all this will have to be considered. And then if there are even water bodies around, let me say there are 2 water bodies, one may be a residue of a mining sector, a mining site, and then the one downstream might be a river, water for consumption. The fractures within the rock from uphill, downhill would give us a sense of idea, the extent to which the fluid uphill will travel to the down. So there will be tests done on all these waters to be able to, like the CSIR, to know few other things in terms of, now the land has been fractured, you understand? So any material liquid that would have taken, say, 5 years or 1 year to get to a certain location, now will take lesser year to get to the location. So all these are the things that we have to, but the most important one is the seismic test that will be added and added information to the structural engineers for the construction and planning of the city as we move ahead.